What's up to everybody? You can hear my voice. Live stream, replay, doesn't matter. I'm just happy you're here. I'm Big Cheds. That's, of course, Church of Eight Wheels. That's my favorite song. That's my intro and outro music, Church of Eight Wheels. I've been using that for many years now. A warm hello. Thank you to everybody. Thank you for being here. Let me know, let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you can hear me okay. And we're going to get this party started. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We'll do some charts today, of course, Ethereum, Solana. We'll look at like Ethereum versus Bitcoin. We'll talk about a little bit the altcoin market, what we think is happening, what's going with Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin topping? Is it going to continue? Try to put, the latest move into context. Just a couple things real quick. YouTube, this is quick market update. I have a brand new playlist for everybody's trading encyclopedia. And every single day I release a new video. These are 3-minute videos. Any subject you're looking for in trading. What's a hanging man? What's a pullback? What are dojis, golden cross? You can see all these concepts. You can come here and I want to have a little video for you. 3-minute, bite size, easier to digest. Check out the playlist. Trading Quotes, my third book. I'm making a free version of that. You may not have seen, but I actually just recorded a brand new long form interview. If you haven't seen this interview, it's awesome. Follis. He's a prolific content creator. He's a great guy. He's really smart. And this is in long form interviews. So I just have my first interview in several years. And I've got a whole bunch more with names like people and you're hopefully you're looking forward to hearing from them. So take a look at the long form playlist. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter. Bitcoin Live, I'm a founding analyst. Of course, BingX, my favorite exchange. And for my U.S. friends, I've got something new coming very soon that I'll tell you about associated with BingX, which will be exciting. So, but this is a quick market update. I stream Tuesday, Friday, and I've got daily videos for you on YouTube. I hope you folks are enjoying that. I enjoy your feedback. I look forward to your feedback and all that stuff. So I see the chat room filling up. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see you folks. And, thank you for continuing to show up. So let's start out with Bitcoin. Let's go. It's middle of the week, but we'll just start in the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame is beautiful. Now, we do have 2 days left in this candle. And I don't want to talk too much about this candle, but it's heading towards an indecision or a pausing candle, some type of a small real candle body. We did just have a local breakout. So we had a nice range peak, a breakout on the range peak, another brand new all-time high. A lot of people, right? A lot of people, everybody's been calling targets for like 135K. And why are they doing that? Well, they're really just taking the height of the consolidation range and they're extending it out. Very, very simply, it's a measured move. The measured move rule in classical charting, you're seeing CMTs, talking about measured moves. Rakesh says, please use dark mode. No. I prefer you use light mode, and I get it. Look, hey, God bless you, but when I see dark mode, I can't read the chart. It looks crazy to me. I know other people feel differently. I'm light mode. I've been light mode on Twitter for 11 years. It's not going to change, but appreciate you, Rakesh. So even CMTs are out there, looking at Bitcoin. It's got their attention. It's mainstream now. It's ETF this, wrapped that. All that great stuff. So yeah, even though there's a measured move to 135K, it doesn't mean it's absolutely going to 135K, at least in the short term. You want to continue to follow the trend, watch for signs of weakening. And so my point is it may pause and consolidate here. And very simply, you're just looking for a throwback to prior structure. So kind of looking at the daily picture, which is what we'll do now. You've set the table with the weekly trend. Getting a sense maybe it's going to consolidate, and the daily channel is just beautiful. Price above the MA200. We see this local structure, price above the local structure. It's in some type of a bullish consolidation. Do we need, my friends, to label this? Not really. Not really. Bull pennant, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't quite matter. It's consolidation after an advance, right? So we'll see if it continues to hold. Right around 116, I think that would be your most immediate level to watch. And then I think you start to look at the peak of the prior range, given just the gap in volume here, the gap in price history. It didn't pause along the way. So it's very straight up, very simple. Even on a 4-hour or a daily, you can just see 116 and then really 110, 112K, right? So we set the picture, beautiful weekly breakout. We have our measured move, but it doesn't do anything for us. It's just a target. And we're looking for a dip in an uptrend, right? And that served us really well. It serves really well. Recent entries on the recent entries in the 78K sweep and recaptures, and the 88 on the 81K recapture, on the 88.5 recapture, 96K break, sweep of 100K, and recapture, even on the 110K break. So so Bitcoin's giving you a lot of opportunities. I know it's exciting, but don't feel FOMO. Because there's going to be another opportunity. There will be more, spots for you to jump in. Okay, great chat room. We'll get to in a second. So that's kind of setting the table on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Just beautiful. I mean, it was forgotten. It was unwanted. It was despised. And here it is. Grinding higher, heading towards that 3,900 4K overhead level. We see the major hold at 2,100 on the recapture, then recently the throwback after the tower top, yada, yada, yada. We've been talking about that. And it's grinding higher and looks to be punching through a potential lower high candidate, circa 3,500. So that's impressive. We'll see what happens. I am kind of expecting a pause on Ethereum somewhere in this range. If and when that happens, we're dropping back. We're looking at throwback targets. We're looking to buy a dip. Consolidation is good. Pausing and consolidating is good. And then we have Ethereum versus Bitcoin. It's been downtrending for years. It's been underperforming Bitcoin for years. And look at this. Several mean reversions in the past. That is moves against the trend. But this one was a sharper drop and reaction, range peak and break. And what's interesting for me, at least, is just this weekly MA50, the orange line. If you observe that Ethereum versus Bitcoin, that's what this is. Ethereum numerator, Bitcoin the denominator, sent back at the MA50 every time we're heading towards it again. Will that play? Here's your 032 breakout level. This is the level in the high time frame that if the bulls can flip, that is Ethereum versus Bitcoin bulls. If they can flip, there's a really good chance it's going to push much higher. So we got altcoins are crazy, and there's a bunch I want to talk about, but I'll go to the chat room first. But there's many strong coins that have reclaimed ENS. Is Link's looking okay, Bonk. It's a long list. So what do we do with that, right? Does that mean Bitcoin's topped off, right? No, not necessarily. You're still going to want to trade Bitcoin just based on what it's doing. Again, level to level. We've seen dominance cool off and then resume its climb higher. We'll see if that plays out. I just think you want to stick with what we're getting from Bitcoin here in terms of deciding if Bitcoin's bullish or bearish. Even though the rest of the market's hot, even though Ethereum's starting to outperform Bitcoin, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin has to top off. It doesn't mean Bitcoin will top off. So I would say resist that urge. All right. What's up, Optimus, Joshua, Rakesh, Psalm Capital, Kaiser, Martina, a lot of people. It's great to see you folks. Have you watched this Trading Encyclopedia playlist? I made it for you. I really think you folks will like it. And as my request to you, if you look at this playlist and you don't see the subject or the topic you're looking for, let me know, and I want to make that video. I want to make this. There'll be hundreds of videos in here. I'm recording one every day, and I will continue to do that. So let me know if you see a topic, if there's a topic you don't see. Happy Friday, Psalm. Yeah, a couple people asked about Algorand. I don't know if I have this right away in the list. I don't. So what do we think about Algorand? All right. Let's clean this up. A very clear momentum recapture on the double bottom. Much of the altcoin market has this general structure, which is essentially a W or a double bottom. Double atom if you want, double V. You'd call this a U and a V. It doesn't quite matter. Peak, 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 trough, price distance, time interval, everything you need in classical charting. And what you want to do, and I'll talk in Algorand in a second, is when much of the market has similar structure, you're going to want to look for relative strength and weakness. So certain underperformers are maybe here or here, haven't even reached the peak of that double bottom. Many of them are up here. So Algorand looks pretty good. It's already reclaimed this level. You have a long trigger that's triggered. You have a long level that should have been executed, and a very clear throwback target should the price get back there. And now we'll clean that up a little bit and redraw it and get a sense of maybe what's above, what may be to come. You have prior loss structure that should be observed. These lows that were lost lost support becomes resistance, the principle of polarity. I have a video on that, of course, and you're probably familiar with the concept. So wait and see if the price can recapture here. No reason to rush in, even though it's been as strong as it has been. We are in a sideways trend that's looking to turn up. So I would rather miss this chart. I would rather wait here and miss this chart than kind of rush in at overhead, if that makes any sense, okay? Pro Bijou, first time in your stream. What's up, brother? I do this twice a week. Pro Bijou, Tuesday, Friday night, and these are interactive. This is a way to talk to me, and I love that I can talk to you folks. Joshua says, just started a trading journal because of you. That's awesome, Joshua. I want to know how it goes. If you folks don't know, I did publish a book called The Trading Journal. It's Trading Wisdom Part 2. It's on Amazon. And I've been putting out some snippets from that book. I generally try to make my books free. You know, you can buy them on Amazon, but I try to have free versions. DV wants to do Curve. Let's take a look at Curve. I mean, it's quite impressive. This one had disappointed me, to be honest, with its inability to hold here right around 57, 58, 59 cents. Very clear support resistance flip, almost like the Ethereum 2100 level. And it just, boom, a little bit of accumulation on the breakout. That is good. Recapture MA200, recapture of a lower high, so lower high break. Want to see 74, 75 hold. Ideally, maybe 82, 83 would be nice. But this is a beautiful move. CRV is absolutely back on the menu. And this is one of the coins I've been covering at Bitcoin Live. You know, I try to put the better charts in front of my team and kind of show them good charts. This is one of them. You know, even with this outside bar, developing outside bar, it's not quite there. What's an outside bar? Where the entire range of the candle eclipses the prior candle. Couple things with an outside bar, and again, I do have a video on outside bars in the Trading Encyclopedia. You'd want to see a close near the bottom of the candle. You want to see volume on the candle as well, and then you want to see it after in advance to be, you know, a stronger signal. But a little consolidation is fine. Cooling off is fine. We don't want to panic in a strong trend as long as our clearly defined levels are holding. You mark out those levels, these horizontal levels, lower high broken resistance should become support. Let's see. What about my Canadian friends, says Lucas. What about them? I have many Canadian friends, and I love Canada, by the way. Oh, Canada. When is the OBV Trading Encyclopedia coming out? Psalm Capital. Let's take a look. I'd have to look into another window. I think it's actually, let me do that on another window. I think it's actually coming out pretty soon. Let me see. OBV. When do I have this scheduled to come out? I think it's actually on balance volume scheduled July 22nd. So in 4 days, you will see the video on the on balance volume, which the on balance volume is a momentum indicator. It's an index, essentially adding up volume in the green versus red candles. You use it for divergence and confirming the trend, et cetera, et cetera. What's up, Crypto Nation? Hey, Ryan. I got 40 trillion mini Bitcoin for President Trump to pay off the debt. There you go. There you go. All right. All right, great chat room, a lot of energy. I really like everybody. Hello from UK. What's up, Annie Crystal? Folks, I love that you're here. Thank you for being here. Let's see what else you want to talk about. Ada. A couple people requested Ada. Let's take a look at Ada. Mr. What's his name? The guy with the glasses. I can't think of it right now, but I know the guy, Hodgkin, Ian Io Hodge, whatever the guy's name is. Sorry, I'm fudging that, but that's, I got his face. I got a picture of his face in my head. I don't have it here on my watch list. Let's add it back in for a moment. I don't know why I can't remember the guy's name. I've been doing it too long, or I'm too old. Interesting, interesting. So we've got a similar double bottom type structure, and here we have two well-defined peaks. You would call it a V and a W. You call it whatever you want. Trough, trough, peak, peak, peak. Price above the peak, a little bit of local candle weakness, a little bit of a potential spam. Yeah, no, thank you. Let me turn off the phone. Sorry about that, folks. I do apologize. You know, a little bit of local candle weakness in the upper shadow candle here. The pin bar is what it's called, and I have a video on that in the encyclopedia. It's very roughly doing a throwback to the peak of this range. It's a mixed trend, right? With the MA200 sideways, that's a trend in classical charting. So I mean, for me, it'd be okay for it to fail here as long as it really holds around 75, 74 cents. So for me, in terms of marking up the chart, in terms of marking up momentum, I think I would continue to focus on like 74, 75. It looks pretty good. It's definitely improving, somewhat of a descending supply trend break as well. And this would be, your two-level filter break, which I have a video on, by the way. This would be your two-level filter break, your lower high. And it looks like to be initially pausing there. Kaiser says the playlist is helpful. Thank you, brother. I must talk about XRP that was requested. XRP, as we know, is the standard. And it's in a beautiful breakout. I think we want to go to the weekly time frame and observe the new all-time high. That is excellent. It did brief that January 18th high. This is a very nice high time frame consolidation here in the weekly. A nice bull flag, nice flagpole, falling channel. Essentially high and tight, really held most of the gains of that initial impulse. Strong volume on the advance, light volume in the consolidation. Pretty much textbook. And when you kind of zoom in and you mark it out on a daily time frame, you really were watching more or less the $2 level, brief deviation and hold. The price then set an immediate range peak, which gave you another long trigger. Could have got long here on the recapture. I probably would have taken the long here in 230. I wasn't playing XRP, but that's okay. But this is my style where I would have taken, because I want to ride with momentum. Here, I was less inclined to play, given the price below the MA 200. But I like to play with momentum, nice breakout, and then another pause, another breakout rather, no pause, and punch right through. So XRP is beautiful. If it pauses here, we have early pausing candles across the market. That's okay. Identify a level to use for your risk, even a throwback to $3 range. Of course, you're dropping to low time frame when the price gets there. The rule of time frames is explained, of course, in the Trading Encyclopedia playlist. Just very simply, when do you drop to a lower time frame? When the price is at a key level or after volatility. Those are that's the rule of thumb in classical charting. Classical charting, what is that? It's Western technical analysis. Dow theory, trends, primary, secondary, minor trend, as opposed to Eastern TA, Japanese candlestick theory. I studied those. I did CMT. I've read the textbooks. That's what I'm trying to teach you folks. Here, I'm trying to make it more relatable, easier to digest. All right, great list, great chat room. Sui, sure. We'll take a look at Sui. And by the way, if I miss your chat message, it's not personal. I'm just riffing here after 6 cups of coffee. I'm having a good time. I'm feeling the buzz. I'm feeling the energy of you folks, and it's just me. There's no moderator. Sui, all right, pushing right into that breakout level. This is a very clearly defined, in my view, overhead level, such that a break of really 415 would justify a long trade. It's a pretty decent look. I do like how, now in terms of double bottoms, let's just quickly talk about double bottoms. Again, I have a video specifically on double bottoms in the Trading Encyclopedia. But you can have a double bottom many different ways. Obviously, Adam and Eve, Eve and Eve, Adam and Adam, whatever. But you can also have lower low sweep double bottom, equal lows, higher lows. And the higher low, like we have here, of course, pseudo ascending triangle. But the higher low is reflective of increased buyer demand, more impatient buyers. This is a stronger double bottom type setup than equal lows or even lower lows, even though lower low sweep gives you the spring, which in and of itself is a decent structure for long trade. AY, appreciate the guidance, starting to go through the masterclass. That's awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I'm going to record a new masterclass soon. What I'm trying to do is the Trading Encyclopedia first, and then I'll do a masterclass explaining a lot of the stuff in the encyclopedia. But like I tell people to watch the masterclass, it's like an hour. And if they're looking for a specific topic, I want to be able to point them directly to it. That's why I've made the Trading Encyclopedia for you. So check that out. Kaiser says, I think we're going to have a flash dump. We'll see, brother. We'll see. I'm not so sure. Bert. I haven't heard of Bert, but I'll take a look at this one. I don't know if you mean Brett, but I don't know if I've heard of Bert. There's so many coins. Bertram the Pomeranian. Okay. All right. Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, it's kind of got a similar type of structure where it did a rounding bottom, type of consolidation, and now it's got a higher low. So your increased demand is marked, must hold there, and it's right at a very reasonably well-defined pivot. Now, this is a good example of a concept called price interaction with a key level. Again, I have a video on that in the encyclopedia. But you, in theory, could take a short or a long because you're interacting with a key level such that a short is well defined. You're not going to hold it much higher than like 046. And a long, you're not going to hold it much, more than maybe 036, 037. You have local nearby invalidation, right? What do I mean by that? Well, if you have a really, really well-defined level here, in theory, you could take a short on a retest of it, but you could also take a long because any trade idea, like I said, it's well-defined, right? You're going to know you're wrong quickly. So that's just kind of what I would say, what I'd add on that. Atomic. Let's take a look at Atomic. And then I think I missed a couple good chats. I'm going to scroll back up in the chat room. I'm having too much fun here, jibbing and jibing with you folks. This I don't like. This looks terrible. Of all the charts you looked at, this is really bad. This is an underperformer. And I put out a tweet yesterday, and I said basically, I say a lot of stuff on Twitter. Oh, I want to talk about ETH BTC and the MA50. I want to explain that. Look, so many charts look so good. There's no reason to play an underperformer. Cut that bad trade and go ride a good one. Like, this is terrible. Like, if you're in this, I would just sell and move on. There's no trend. This is a garbage chart. The market hates it. There's so much action right now. There's so many good charts. There's no reason to play this chart, in my opinion, okay? You're way better off. And even something like Altcoin. I'm sorry, I know it's crude, whatever. You're way better off. Even like in Stellar Lumen. Look at the move in Stellar Lumen. That's impressive, right? Like, why would you be an ATOM? You got to take off your fundamental analysis hat, put on your TA hat, and know that the market's smarter than you. Let the market tell you what to play, okay? I did want to talk briefly about the WSMA 50. And what's interesting is that, maybe I talked about it earlier and I'm already forgetting, but it's just notable that it's bounced into this range and rejected every time. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Oh, I did talk about it. Sorry for that, folks. I'm having too much fun here. I really enjoy these streams. Yeah, H-bar Kaiser looks good, man. Looks really, really good. This is a double bottom already broken out. Okay, well above its range peak. It's consolidating. It has other overhead to work through, but it's very much come off of the mat. It's very much back in the menu, as you might say. And, certainly as long as it holds above 22 cents, it is constructive. Very nice brief bull flag and break from here. It may very simply be in primary uptrend mode, riding the EMA 8 and the upper Bollinger Band. Looks really good. Yeah, not a ton of history on Pengu, man, Will. And people ask, and there's limits to technical analysis. For sure, you need price history because the whole idea of TA is to identify a trend and take advantage of a move against it. Obviously, this looks really good, but there's no history here. What am I supposed to do with this? It's an uptrend, great. It broke resistance, great. There's just not a ton of history. Not a ton of history. Let me think here. So let me see if there's any really interesting questions I missed. Great chat room today. I really appreciate you folks. Talked about XRP, talked about ADA. We've covered a lot of stuff. So look, I really want to reiterate a couple things. First of all, I did a great interview with Mr. Follis, who's a content creator. That's my pinned tweet. It's in the new long-form interview series. A bunch of new interviews coming up. I won't tell you the names until I have them recorded and released. Check that out. Trading Coach, my third book, is free. I'm doing free version there. This is the trading encyclopedia. The idea is anything you were not sure about in trading. What's an uptrend? How do I do multi-time frame analysis? What's an outside bar? You can come to this playlist and search and find what you're looking for. 3-minute video, easy to digest. And I need your help for topics, things you're looking for and you can't find. Let me know. I've got a list of probably 200 topics I'm going to do videos on. So this will build. But it's a great start, right? And Bitcoin has a great start. And what I want to say with Bitcoin is that the weekly time frame is excellent. And what we see from the weekly time frame is essentially the beginning of a consolidation candle. We have a couple days left, so I don't want to overinterpret it. But we may be beginning another little consolidation here. And the danger of measured moves, right? People are already calling 135. It's supposed to go to 135 because of the height of this consolidation. Targets are mostly useless, especially in blue sky breakout territory, right? You need to stop and watch the price structure as it develops. We could very easily pause here and drop back and test, 110, 110, 112K. And if you test a level, you can break it, right? That breaks, you want to buy a lower dip. Until proven otherwise, position yourself to buy dips in uptrends. And Bitcoin's given us many, many wonderful entries. I've been covering them live here a couple days a week on Bitcoin Live twice a week, on Twitter all the time. We've got clearly marked levels that we'd be interested in adding risk if given the opportunity. We'll see if we get there. And despite the fact that Ethereum's now outperforming Bitcoin and many altcoins are doing well, even Dino coins are waking up, I don't think we should be too concerned or cautious on Bitcoin at all until we get any type of a retest. And then even like a bare minimum, we'd have to drop below like 110K to start to get a little bit more concerned. Not necessarily concerned, but we'd have to drop below 110K to start to think that there's any chance of a deeper consolidation. And even then, these deeper consolidations have just borne out fruit. They've been fruitful. They've given us a great benefit from these deeper consolidations, resetting the oscillators, all that good stuff. So I love the chat room. I love that you folks decided to come today. I tried to get to as many of your questions as possible. If I missed them, leave me a comment. I'll try my best to answer. Otherwise, I'll be back and do another stream on Tuesday. I try to do these every Tuesday, every Friday, quick streams, quick market updates. But I have a ton of videos for you on my YouTube, daily videos in the encyclopedia, trading quotes playlist, free version of my third book. I've got new interviews coming out. I'm trying to be really active, and it's fun. It's really fun. So it's a great room. What's up, Martwan? Good to see you. A great room today, and I'm really thankful that each and every one of you decided to come. So hopefully I'll see you around, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's get that Church of Eight Wheels going, and we'll jam it on the way out, folks. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Have a great weekend. Peace out.